Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. I am just here to have a play today. I've actually got two things. I had a lot of people ask when I was doing the snippet rolls and things, did they have to stitch them? Obviously, because not everybody has a sewing machine and things. I mean, in my opinion, no, you don't have to stitch them. So I wanted to come along and have a play with one that I hadn't stitched. Just to kind of show you how that would look. So I made this one off of camera and I will just kind of zoom it through or whiz it through so as you can see it. It's quite long and it's one of the book page ones, so the back is just literally strips of book page, and whoops, I'll just run it through the camera like that, but really lovely and lots of colour and vibrancy on it. So far, all of my pieces, they are just glued on here, just like when we did the snippet rolls together on film. So yeah, I thought we would come along and have a play with that. And I think I've mentioned before, but just in case you're making these, I've now got a few of these made because I'm just really loving doing them. And I've just clipped them with a bulldog clip. So I just put a massive, one of those big bulldog clips at one end, and it's just hooked on a hook in my room. So it's got sort of 5 of these great big things hanging down. It's obviously quite high up because they're quite long. But that just keeps them out of the way and tidy. And obviously, I don't know how well it would roll up, because I think maybe pieces would start lifting like here. So, yeah, that's how I've been storing mine, just in case you were wondering. So that's the first thing that I'm going to play with today. And the second thing is I've got some of Patricia Varimontes has so kindly sent me some of her Stainz. So I'm really looking forward to this. So for those people who didn't see her initial video, I'll just wipe the container. She has launched this new product. It's called Stainz. It's obviously made by her. And, it's just going to come in useful, like when you've coffee dyed all of your stuff and then you make something else that's not coffee dyed. For example, this snippet roll, I haven't coffee dyed any of the elements that are stuck on here. And the chance are it is going to stick onto something coffee dyed, which personally then I don't feel like they kind of marry so well together. So this little product is, just going to come in really helpful. So, yep, thank you so much, Patricia. And I know that, I watched obviously her video when she launched this and felt really excited for her. So I'm so thrilled that she sent me some of this. So thank you so much, Patricia. And I've just poured a little bit out into this cup of my daughter's. So hopefully she won't find out, or notice it missing. She won't, because everywhere's so messy in her kitchen, she won't notice. And I'm just going to use this brush. Now I have to say I probably should have used a much softer brush. My brush is very neglected and rock hard. I could do with soaking it overnight in some conditioner. But this Stainz, it's quite thick in texture. Patricia said it was quite dark, and if you wanted to water it down, to get a lighter colour, then, of course you could do that. I did try this out on some paper and I quite liked the colour of it as it was, so I don't think I'm going to water it down or anything. But, I mean, I don't know how she's made this, obviously, but it's got a gluey texture as well, which, again, is just fantastic, especially for something like a snippet roll if you're not stitching. Because, obviously, anywhere that's not, say, stuck down 100% like here, your sewing machine would ordinarily catch that and sort of, make sure it's stuck down. Well, obviously, if you're not stitching it, this is going to work brilliantly because this is going to act as, something else to stick it down. So I'm just going to go along this snippet roll with this and just stain everything, all the little bits and pieces. And as you can see, I mean, it's really nice sort of colour. I mean, actually, I have to say it wasn't as dark as I thought, because it did look very dark on the video. And actually, it's not as dark as I thought, because I did think I would have to water it down, but actually it's, it's nowhere near as dark as I expected. So yeah, it's, and obviously, I've put there 2 coats, so you could just layer it up and, that will then obviously make it darker still if you wanted it darker still. So it's a really nice thing to use. And obviously, as I say, it is a sort of glue texture. So anywhere where you've got some paper lifting, you can just glue that paper down. Okay. So I just have to be careful it doesn't now stick on my desk. So I'll just move it along slightly. And yeah, I'm just going to go along obviously the whole thing. Again, I'm just going to lift like here, and that will help to just adhere it to that paper beneath. So I mean, actually, you know, you probably could have made the whole snippet roll by gluing and painting as you went. Okay, but it's, yeah, awesome, awesome. So again, just go over that with another bit, I think. So I really like the, you know, the rich colour. And as I say, yeah, it's not anywhere near as dark as I'd kind of thought it might have been. So, you know, if you kind of worried that it would be too dark, it's not too dark. Okay. There we go. Just paste it all. And I mean, yeah, it's just brilliant because like Patricia said, I mean, sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but you know, I will spend like hours and hours doing the coffee dyeing, doing the ironing of the coffee dye papers, you know, and think, oh, brilliant, I'm, you know, I'm set and I'm ready to go. I've got all this coffee dyed stuff. And then lo and behold, I come to use it. And of course, I'm going to use it with the one thing that I haven't coffee dyed. So, you know, this is a brilliant little solution to have that you can just then at your desk paint the odd thing. So you're not having to then do a whole bunch of coffee dyeing, you know, which of course is the last thing you want to do if you have just coffee dyed a load of stuff. So, okay. Okie dokie, and just go along to that end part there. I think she did this with some napkin as well. So, and I'm sure she said that she pasted the book page and the, you know, over the napkin as well. So yeah, it's quite versatile. So there we go. Right, let me just peel this up. I have to be careful that it's not now, oh my gosh, glued to my desk like it was glued to that. Okay, anywhere where I just want a bit of a darker colour, I just go back over. Okie dokie. Okay, so I'm going to just leave that now to dry for a few minutes. Hopefully it won't take too long. It's quite nice and warm up here. And then I will be back and we will hopefully make something with our snippet roll. So I will see you guys shortly. Right guys, so my snippet roll is now dry. And as you can see, it's looking much more vintage now, much better colour on it and everything. And also this, you know, product by Patricia, it has a kind of sheen to it. So it looks a little bit like it's been Mod Podged, which is lovely. So yeah, looks really good. And what I've done is I've just pulled a few pieces in to be able to make some bits with the snippet roll. Because as I say, I was going to show you, you know, how, well, not how to use, but how a snippet roll looks when it's not stitched, and you know that it will look just as nice hopefully as when it is stitched basically. So yeah, I've just got these bits here. So as you can see, I've got a couple of belly band pieces that I've stitched on the sewing machine just from some vintage sheet music. So in the first instance, I'm just going to ink these up. I mean, again, I did see Patricia use her Stainz for inking up book page and things. So I mean, again, I could have probably inked these up with the Stainz as well. I mean, I find that these are fine to ink. It's just really when you've got sort of larger amounts really that it's, you know, better to just coffee dye or, you know, use the Stainz really. But yeah, so this one here now, obviously, you know, this would be either a pocket or maybe a belly band, a pocket or, yeah, a belly band on the page. So with regards to my snippet roll, you know, you could either have it kind of this way on the pocket, or you could have it just a little section of it. So I might just have just this small section. So I'm just going to, actually I'm just going to tear this. And I mean, obviously the beauty of not sewing it is that you can tear it, where if you've stitched it, you obviously can't really tear through the, you know, the stitching. So, I mean, there are advantages to actually not having stitched it, I think. So, you know, please don't feel that you have to have a sewing machine and have to stitch. You know, you really don't. So, just going to tear this down slightly. Like that. Okay. Now, obviously you can see it's kind of overhanging a little bit on my piece. So I'm just having a look to see which way I want to go with that. So I think probably I'm going to have to stick it down and then cut it here. But I'm just going to give it a bit of extra help where I've torn it, just with some distress ink. I mean, as you can see, it's nice and, you know, vintagey looking anyway, but it just needed a bit of help with the where I've torn it, because obviously we had slightly white edges then showing. So I'm going to have that there. Now, just before I stick that on, I obviously hadn't put any lace on, because the lace I kind of tended to, you know, clamp onto the snippet roll with the sewing machine. I mean, I did, or when I've made them, I have stuck it with glue, but then I have, I suppose reinforced it would be the word, with stitching it. So because I obviously haven't done that, I haven't attached any lace to these pieces. So I'm going to just attach some lace, I think, now. I haven't really played around to see which lace is going to look good on these bits, which now I'm regretting that slightly and wishing I had. Let's just ink this up and see, you know, if this is inked, whether it looks better, because I'm not sure that this is quite the right piece at the moment. I mean, that's quite nice. What do you think? Let me just take this down slightly here. Oops. Please excuse my fingers, because yeah, I've been doing obviously another video while I was waiting for it to dry, so I'm now very inky and very gluey, so I do apologise for that. Okay. Do we like that, or would we prefer a different lace? I'm not sure. Not sure. Let me just try this one. Now this is a little bit more resistant to being torn. This one, it doesn't kind of seem to want to be torn very much, which is fine, because I think there's times for, you know, for both. There's times for each. Now I'm thinking, do we want black lace? I mean, I wasn't thinking black lace, but oh no. No. I just thought, because there was a lot of black on here because of the, you know, the sheet music, that I thought, oh, perhaps it needs some black, but I don't know, actually. I did hold that there initially and thought, oh gosh, no way. But I don't know now. I'm not so sure now. Let me just bring in some doily, so because perhaps we'll have a bit of doily or something, just kind of above, or perhaps not. Perhaps we won't. Oh, that's quite nice, actually. Just sort of breaks it up a little bit. Otherwise, it's quite oh, what's the word? Busy. Busy is the word. That took a while to find that word, didn't it? Okay. Right. So we'll just pop that down there. Okay, and for some reason, between doing the last video and now doing this one, or doing the initial video where I was using the Stainz and then waiting for it to dry whilst I was doing the other video, and now doing this one, I now seem to have lost my wipe. So, and I have a load of them ready dried, but of course I then didn't really think to pull one in before refilming. Okay. Oh, I don't know what lace actually I'm wanting really on this. Let me just have a look around and see whether I've got anything else. So I've got this one, which is a gathered lace. Oh no. Well, I say oh no. Hold on, let me just cut off a little tiny piece. Oh my gosh. Literally like flicking them onto my chair and oh, just yeah, getting stuff everywhere, getting quite messy. Okay. Check which way's the right way. Now I'm just thinking kind of ink this. It's looking quite, you know, quite bright otherwise. So if I ink that, what do we think? So if I were to have that there, oops, I wonder if I could have that one up at the top. And then perhaps we could have one of my little words or something. What's this one say? Oh, confidence. That's a bit strange on that cluster, isn't it? Freedom. And I guess we could have freedom. Because that birds are very free, aren't they? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, I don't know now. Right, I'm going to stop the video and just bring in a couple of other laces to try. Hold on. Right, so I've bought in a couple of other laces. So I've bought in some different black lace because although I'd initially said, oh no, actually I didn't mind the black lace, and in fact even quite liked it once I tried it again. And this is a slightly more delicate lace. That other one's sort of crochet, so it's quite thick. So this one I think, you know, actually does look really nice on there. So I'm just going to just adhere that to my cluster. Well, it's not a cluster, is it? My snippets. Oh, honestly, so much terminology to get right. And would you believe I went right over where I keep my wipes, you know, on my little door hanger that I made, and then I just totally forgot to pick one up, so I'm still here with no wipe. Oh well. Right, so I'm just going to now glue this down onto the, you know, the belly band. So all the way over, a bit of glue, there we go. Oops. There we go. Right, press that down. Oh my gosh, everything's dropping down now. Okay. Right. So anywhere that just needs a bit of touching up, you know, where I didn't get glue, I'm just going to sort of fill that in now. Because like I say, you know, if I had made this on the sewing machine, I would have stitched that lace. So it would have been reinforced, you know, by the stitching. But because I didn't, I'm just reinforcing it now. Now I'm just going to go down from the back and just trim that off so it's level with the side of the pocket or belly band, depending how it's going to be used. There we go. And just then, you know, really press it down, make sure everything's glued on nicely. So again, if you've got just anywhere coming up, just go in with a bit of glue and just, you know, stick it down like that. Okay, whoops. Okie dokie. Right, now just going to sort of, you know, top and tail this. So I'm just going to put some across the top. So do we want the black there, or shall we go with the ivory? I think probably the black. The ivory looked quite nice as well. No, the black. Right. Okay, so we're just going to pop that there. And then we just pop our black lace down like that. And then I'm just going to trim that down. Okay. Come on. Okay, so that looks really pretty, doesn't it? And let's have a bit of bling. I think just up here, just on that top corner. So just, oops, apply some glue. There we go. Ah, that looks so nice, doesn't it? So that's, you know, that cluster there. Now, I also used the Stainz to stain this. So this was some scrapbook paper, which it looked like that. I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of staining this one as well, but it was quite bright white, as you can hopefully see the difference. So I used it on here as well. And I thought we could just use the cluster for this piece as well. So if I just pop these pieces out of the way, so you've got less stuff going on around my desk. So what I'll do, I think, is around my corners of this pocket. So this is just a little pocket that I've made, obviously, you know, previously. Okay. I might round the corners at the bottom as well. Oops, I made a hideous job of doing that one. Oh well. Right, okay. So we just ink this up a little bit around the edges. And this is actually glittered, this scrapbook paper as well. So it was, you know, you could say slightly more sort of resistant to being stained, but it worked fine. So yeah, it wasn't a problem. Now again, I'm just going along my snippet roll and deciding where, you know, which section I would like to have on my piece here. So I'm thinking, you know, I would like a reddish sort of section, because the paper obviously is, you know, red. So maybe, no, well maybe there. I don't want to tear this man. Let me just check what else I've got going on here. Oh, or I could have this piece, this section here. That might be better. So let me just tear this down. Like that. And then ideally I just want to miss where this is. So just going to tear that like that. And then obviously I've got that in its entirety for another piece. So right, I've got this one now. I'm going to put it at the top, but now I'm thinking, would it be better on the bottom? Yeah, it probably would. So I'm going to again just tear this down. So I mean, again, you know, this is where not sewing is actually an advantage, because of course, you know, I can tear it down easily, where had I sewed it would be slightly more of a problem to be able to just tear it down. Okay, just going to tear this down slightly more, like that. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? I'm going to have to tear this bit, because otherwise it's just going to be too tall, and you know, I think it would just get bent over a lot. So there we go. Okay, so that's nice, isn't it? And then I'm just going to obviously ink around here where I've torn it. This is now very bright white, so just tear that down. Okay, so that's nice, isn't it? Now, what did I do with that black lace? There we go. So again, shall we have some black coming out at the bottom, or we could have some black at the top, or we could have a different colour, because maybe that doesn't go so well on here. I'm now feeling I really do need to cover up some of this red. Yeah, weirdly enough, I mean, I was intending on having the red showing, but I'm not so sure now. Not quite convinced that I'm loving the red. So So I think I would probably prefer to cover it up a bit. So let me just again pull in some doily. Because if I'm leaving this now, I just want to put something on the bottom so that's not completely plain. And just bring the black again. Right, I'm just going to cut this, you know, this weird shape from here, so that it's no longer got that scallop going on. Okay, put this down here. Yeah, I was quite liking the red stripe, but actually it's a bit like a deck chair, which, you know, I'm not really so sure that that's quite right, to be honest, on there. So it's probably better if it's gone, I think. Right, what else? What else can we have on there? I'm not sure now, not sure. When you've got a plan in your mind and then, you know, something happens and it changes, it's very hard to then sort of come back from that, isn't it? I find, anyway. Right, I've just got this flower sheet here. This is from my very vintage kit. But I just thought, oh, I've got, you know, these are red flowers, so maybe they would be okay on here. They bring it together, don't they? Which, you know, is quite good. Yeah, I think that's better. They do bring that together now. Oh, I can't decide now. I don't want to put that down on there and then not like it, because then, you know, and I'll never use it. So just before I commit to that, I just want to check which, I think I'd bought some other. I thought I bought some other bits along. Now I don't know where I've put those. Hold on. Because, I mean, if you don't like it now, you're not going to like it later, are you? So, yeah. Oh, maybe I do prefer it there. I'm not now sure. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think it would actually be better on a sort of book page pocket, to be honest. Let me see if I have anything like that laying around. Hold on. Oh, you know what I did else bring along? I bought along a book page tag, which of course now I don't know where that's gone, but I've got this one. Oh gosh, I'm gradually losing more and more of this little thingamajiggy. I'll end up with like none left whatsoever, but oh well. Right, let's ink this up. Okay, turn that over. Like that. Right. Oh, there's no need really to have that red flower now if I'm not having the red pocket. So, yeah, I won't do that. Have I got any sheet music? Because I would quite like that in the background. Oh, come on. I mean, again, like all these things, I'm sure that I do have some sheet music here. Just, it's buried and I can't really now see it. Okay. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, right. Okay, I knew I had some somewhere. You know, somewhere nearby. Okay. That's quite nice, isn't it? So, yeah. I think I will have that there. Okie dokie. I've actually been videoing now back to back for several hours, so I think I'm getting a little bit, you know, thirsty. So, yeah, thirsty and kind of, I need to go and have a breather in a bit, because it's so apparent, you know, kind of when you've done sort of back to back for a while, you suddenly lose the ability to, you know, stay focused, and everything just looks really rubbish. And it might be that just by taking that break, when you come back, straight away everything takes on a completely different appearance. So, yeah, I will probably make this my last thing. Oh, you'll probably be pleased to know, to be honest, because you'll be like, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness she's going to give up and stop trying to make things come together that aren't really just forming. Okay. Yeah, I quite like that. So let's just glue this down. Okie dokie. Just glue here, just in case I kind of missed any edge parts. There we go. Okie dokie. Right, let's now press that down from the back. Again, wishing I had my wipe here. Okay, just trim that down. Like that. Oh, that looks really nice now. Yep. Got there eventually, didn't we? Okay. Now, I haven't inked up that sheet music. Oh well, I'll just do that now. Literally, as I was about to say, shall I ink it up? I found myself inking it up, so sometimes, you know, I'm doing things kind of before I can even respond to them. Okay, so I'm going to have that as my tab. So this is that thick sort of crochet type lace that I almost put on, I think it was on there. So I'm just going to use that as my tab for my tag. So I'm just going to glue that down. Okie dokie, like that, and then on the back. Okay, yeah, because obviously I'm filming these videos ahead, so I'm filming this whilst my daughter is at school. It's, you know, the Monday Tuesday thing that she's doing those 2 days a week, so I've been filming back to back, just trying to obviously get loads of videos done whilst she's at school, because, you know, of course it's much easier to concentrate while they're not in the house. Well, just her really. I mean, my older son, he is back at work, but yeah, I mean, my middle son, he's still home, but he is actually, he's doing a lesson currently, so you know, he hasn't been doing it like all day, obviously, but he is right now. Right, this, you know, this actual moment, he's doing a lesson. Okay, my gosh, that took a long time just to do that little tag, didn't it? Oh, it was a drawn out process. So yeah, that's obviously how you could be using your snippet rolls when they're not stitched. I mean, personally, I honestly, you know, don't think that they need to be stitched. I don't, you know, I think the stitching looks lovely. I think they look lovely without. So I hope that's encouraged all those people who've asked me, you know, do I need to be able to stitch them? You know, I don't think so. I think they look good sort of either way, really. So yeah, so if you haven't got a sewing machine, I hope that's encouraged you. So, and I hope you liked Patricia's Stainz, sorry. So yeah, thank you so much, Patricia. I really do appreciate that. That's so kind of you. And obviously she sells that over in her shop, so I will try and put her link below. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you guys all have a great day, and I hope you'll join me next time. Thanks so much then. Bye.